Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the traditional labels stamp set bundle. This is one of the pretty bundles from the upcoming Stampin' Up! September to December 2025 mini catalog, and it's right up there kind of near the front of the catalog. There's a whole big double suite with two stamp sets, designer series paper, ribbon, embellishments, the whole 9 yards with it. So it's a beautiful suite right in the front of the catalog, and it's got some fantastic paper that goes with it. That's actually where the flower die cuts on this card have come from, as well as the background paper. So we're going to be making a card today with this stamp set bundle. So again, it's called Traditional Labels. This is the card we're going to be working on today. And yeah, Traditional Labels is the name of the stamp set. And it's a photopolymer set, which means that it's easy to stamp with, easy to see through, which is the kind that I definitely love. And also have the Traditional Labels dies that coordinate with it. So these dies will cut out the sentiments that are in here. I think pretty much every one of them you can cut out with one of these dies. And they also will work for lots of other die or other stamped images, as well as sentiments that Stampin' Up! Has in their collection. So again, Traditional Labels is the name of the stamp set bundle that we're using. Also used the branching out dies, which is, hey, Amy and Carol, I was starting to wonder if maybe I wasn't like live for real for others to see it because nobody was here with me. I was like all by myself. So branching out dies, which are also in the upcoming mini catalog. All these products will be available to order starting on September 3rd. So again, this is part of another bundle that's in the catalog, but this is a great set of label dies, and I did use the largest one for the background basic white panel on here. So hey, Marilyn and Danette and Deborah, glad you guys are joining today. Again, branching out is the name of this die set. And then the final die set that I used is actually part of the full suite with this stamp set bundle. These are the Christmas greenery dies, and there is a beautiful stamp set that coordinates with these with some floral images in it. But of course, I didn't use the stamp set today, just the dies, and I'll show you that those coordinate perfectly with the designer series paper, which I absolutely love it when Stampin' Up! Does that. Makes super quick and easy cards really pretty. So hey, Nancy, I'm glad you got the bundle today. You are going to love it. So, hey, Carol, thanks for joining. So again, these are called the Christmas greenery dies. All right. Grabbing a couple things here before we get going. Online exclusives, make sure that you are taking a peek at those anytime that you are out ordering from Stampin' Up! You can find them in the online store by going to stampinup.com and then clicking on the menu button in the upper left, and then finding the little circle that says online exclusives. Clicking on that, it'll take you to a page with all the online exclusives. These are items that are not tied to any catalog. They kind of come and go at random times. So make sure every time you're out there doing some shopping that you take a look at those, because you don't want to miss out on anything good. This is just a really small sampling of the current online exclusives. There will be another batch of really awesome online exclusives coming on September 3rd as well. So make sure that you go take a look at those online exclusives on September 3rd when the new catalog ordering goes live. And then one last, well, I think Friday I'll be able to do another reminder with you. But make sure that you are getting those in color products ordered just before the end of August. So the 25 to 27 in color products from Stampin' Up! Are all 15% off through the end of August. So make sure you're out there and grabbing those when you are doing your shopping at the end of this month. Like to see you cut out the pine branches. Yeah, sometimes they do. Yep. I've heard a couple different things you can do with that. You can take a dryer sheet and kind of rub it over these. You can put a dryer sheet in between the paper and the dies. You can also use wax paper between the two, and it kind of, when you use the wax paper and the dryer sheets, it leaves like a little bit of a coating on it. Not that it sticks to the paper, but it actually doesn't allow the paper to stick. So hopefully that will help you a little bit. Some of the dies, particularly the ones that have the little intricate ends on them, are a little tricky to get the die cut pieces to come out. If it's a really big problem and you feel like it's just tearing your cardstock all up, call Stampin' Up! They can take a look at it and let you know maybe sometimes there are defective dies, which that could be an issue as well. So definitely call Stampin' Up! If it continues to be a problem for you, Deborah. Okay. So again, let's get started. I'll stop yakking now. All right, we have got an old olive card base, and this is a piece of that beautiful paper. So the Traditions of Christmas paper is a specialty designer series paper, and it's got gold foiling in it. So this is one of the pieces. It's hard to glue down the pretty sides, but I wanted a little more kind of backgroundy, a little more mellow on the background, so I went with the plaid side. Old Olive. This piece is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it should fit, if I've cut it correctly, to right over the top of the card front. This is one of those cards that actually, if you prefer the book fold card, you can certainly do this as a book fold card. So my card base is 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 across the top, because that's the card base that I prefer. If you like the book fold ones, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, this card will definitely work for one of those as well. Just, you can put the card base however you like it, because I know not everyone loves this type of card base. All right, using a little multi-purpose liquid glue, and I have a brand spanking new bottle of that, so I'm trying not to squeeze it at all because I'll end up with it absolutely everywhere. And I'm gluing the designer series paper to the card front, lining everything up. So, hey, Kathy and Shirley, thanks for joining. And I'm glad you like the card, Deborah. So, all right, so smooshing that down, rubbing it down there, making sure that that's all stuck on straight. Ahead of time, I did cut a piece of basic white cardstock with the largest die from the branching out dies. And we're going to adhere that with some Stampin' Dimensionals to the card front. So we'll grab a couple of those, and it looks like I need to cut another row of those too. Only got a couple left in this row. So when I do my Stampin' Dimensionals, or when I make my little half Stampin' Dimensionals, I basically just take my scissors and chop right down the center of the row. And it doesn't matter if you don't cut straight. I almost never do, because as you know, if you are a follower of mine, fussy cutting is not a strength of mine. So I can't cut straight for anything. But it doesn't really matter on the Stampin' Dimensionals. It's okay if some are a little bigger, some are a little smaller. So, all right, peeling the backings off of those, and we will stick that to the card front here, and just kind of roughly centering it, top to bottom and side to side. And the plaid on here makes it, you know, I say hopefully, makes it a little bit easier to determine what's straight, not necessarily what's centered, but at least getting it on here straight. Then, ahead of time, again, I did some die cutting, and I'll show you which dies I used and tell you about the papers that I used. Let me grab the dies back here. These are cut with the Christmas greenery dies. This big die is the one that I used to cut gold foil sheets, and I did 2 of those. And then this pine bough die is the one that I used to cut this paper, and this is Old Olive cardstock. So 2 of those, 2 of these. Again, gold foil sheets and Old Olive cardstock. Then let me scoot that out of the way so I don't accidentally glue something to it. So I'm going to start by putting the gold foil little die cuts down here. I'm just going to grab a couple glue dots to stick these to the card front. I don't need to have tons and tons of adhesive on these, because I'm going to be layering a lot over the top of them. So eventually, hey Kathy, thanks for joining. So eventually it'll all kind of be stuck down with lots of other glues because I'm sticking lots of layers over the top. All right, gonna go ahead and put a couple glue dots on the back of this one. Same thing here. And put another one down there. And again, most of these are going to be covered up by other layers. So even if you have a little glue dot, oopsie, and have something sticking out that you don't necessarily want to have sticking out, a glue dot like right there, I don't know if you can see, I didn't put my glue dot on there very straight, but it'll all be covered by lots of other layers. I am, however, going to snip off the very bottom of these little, I don't know, I'm calling them pine boughs. I think that's what they're supposed to be, but I'm snipping the ends of those off so that they don't accidentally stick out down at the bottom after I put my sentiment on. I ended up snipping them off after the fact and kind of had to wrestle them out from underneath everything else that I had layered over the top of it as I was putting them down here. So I figured this time I would just go ahead and snip them off to start with. And we're just going to layer those right over the top. And other one as well, just grabbing a couple little glue dots here. Whoop, there we go. Stick to the paper, not to my finger. There we go. And we will take that one and put that one up just a little bit higher, like that. And again, it's kind of a collage look. I'm just basically looking at my paper that I've got here and trying to recreate it. They're not all going to come out exactly the same. So For this card, I actually used a different one of the flowers. So the paper is, again, called Traditions of Christmas, and it's a specialty paper, so it's got the gold foiling on it. There is an entire sheet of just floral images that you can die cut with the coordinating die from the Christmas greenery dies. So this is the die that cuts them out. And there are these that have got the blue and white flowers. Then there's this set that's the pink and red flowers, and then there's some that are all red flowers that are on the same sheet. So it's basically like rows of them, and they're absolutely beautiful. So I went ahead and die cut, well, this is pieces of I should grab the whole paper. Hold on. Let me grab that. I intended to have it out, and then I forgot. So the designer series paper actually has entire... Oh, golly, I'm gonna have stuff stuck to everything. So it's obviously a whole 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper. And again, it's just rows of the different colors of flowers. So this is the red color set. So when I go to cut these out, basically if I want all red flowers on my card, I can just cut out all of these with a little die here, which basically I did that with the pink ones for this card. You'll notice that there's a half set of flowers on the bottom and a half set on the top. And actually for my background, the flowers that are on the way bottom of the pile, I basically did the top and the top and the bottom and cut these out. And then we're just gonna glue them together and glue them here to the card front. And nobody's gonna know because it's all gonna be covered here in the middle by everything else. But I don't know, like I said, I originally had started with just putting this up near the top, but then when I layered my other two pieces over the top, there was a little opening in the middle and you could kind of see that it didn't go all the way to the bottom. So that's why I'm like, oh, well, there's another half set of flowers on there. So we'll just stick those two together and put them on the card front. And actually, I was going to die cut one of these and show you how quick and easy these are to die cut too. So again, I've cut all the other ones out of here already. So I'm just going to grab this one and run it through the die cutting machine with the set of flowers. So we've got 1, 2, and that'll be our third set. So hang on, I will be right back. All right. And again, these are the Christmas greenery dies, and they're part of the suite. So I got papers and things sticking everywhere. So I'm going to put this back and get this out of my way now. So hopefully I don't get glue all over that. And then I'm going to take my two that I cut the top and the bottom, and we're going to adhere those together before I put them to my card front. So hey, Terry and Daryl and Michelle, thanks for hopping in today. So, all right. Gonna go ahead and just put a little bit of adhesive. You can use whatever your favorite is. Stampin' Seal is always my favorite adhesive. Just putting a little of that here, and then I'm gonna line up my flowers. And there we go. You can actually, I mean, it's hard to even tell it, at least I think, when it's all put together, it's hard to tell it when it's in your hand. But definitely when you put it on the bottom of the stack of flowers, nobody's going to know that it was 2 halves. And then you don't have to waste, because there are a couple rows of each of the different colors of flowers, but you don't have to waste that next row of flowers by cutting another whole one. You can just cut the 2 halves and stick them together, and nobody will know but you and me that that's what you've done. All right, got some glue dots again that I'm using to stick the first little grouping of flowers down. And I'm going to take that and we'll put it up put it up a little bit higher, up near the top. All right, then I've got my second little set of flowers here, and we're going to stick that down with some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to be a little aware of where I put the Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to try to keep them away from this edge because I'm layering that over quite a few thick layers already. So I'm going to try to keep them to this side, if that makes sense. And then I'll do the opposite when I put my other set of dimensionals on here. So I'm going to take those and kind of stick those out towards the edge, and then we'll put just a little Stampin' Seal, or you can use a glue dot or something on it just to hold it in the center to the big stack of flowers in the middle. All right, and we'll take this one, and just trying to figure out how far over and how far down do I want to place it. I'm thinking I want these flowers to show, so I'm just going to kind of go off to the edge a little bit and down a little bit. And then same thing with this one. I'm just going to take this one and put it off to this side. So I'm going to try to make sure that my dimensionals all go on this edge. And we'll put a little Stampin' Seal on it like I did my other set of flowers towards the center. So that holds it a little, helps to hold it a little bit more securely towards the center. All right, pick off the backings here. And we're actually getting close to being done. This one, it took a minute to do the die cutting, but really not even very long because all the die cutting was, you know, it's all pre-printed. All you have to do is just cut it out. So it's really easy. All right, so there we go. And the center of it, where my two flowers were kind of connecting in the middle, is all covered. So nobody knows that we did like a stitched together job in the center. So, all right. So got the little spray of flowers going. And then the final, well, second to the last thing to add to this, the card front. Again, my original one was Pool Party because it's Pool Party and white flowers on here. This one, technically, Bubble Bath is not considered a color in the Designer Series paper. But when I held up the different cardstocks to this, I looked at that and I'm like, boy, that sure looks like Bubble Bath to me. So I'm going with Bubble Bath as my sentiment on here because I didn't necessarily want this to be a Christmas card. If I did, I would have definitely picked reds or greens or something like that, but I wanted this to be a little bit more of a general card. So I went with Bubble Bath because I thought pink doesn't really scream Christmas to me. It says sending love and joy for the sentiment on it. And again, it is from the traditional labels stamp set. I should grab my embossing buddy and go over my Bubble Bath cardstock here. I see, okay, so it's not just me and I'm not crazy. It definitely looks like Bubble Bath to me. All right, stamping that here on the Bubble Bath cardstock in Versamark ink. And then we're going to grab white embossing powder. And again, if I were doing this as a Christmas card, white would definitely work, but I might do gold on it for the embossing just to make it be, again, a little more holiday to me when you put gold on it. So again, that's why I went with the white. So hey, Debbie, thanks for joining. All right, this is heat embossing. So I used white embossing powder from the Basics Wow embossing powders. And actually, yeah, I think I'm going to put a little bit more on there because it looks like the sending, the S on the sending, I didn't get covered very well. So I'm going to go ahead and resprinkle that just to make sure that there we go. That looks better. Wanted to make sure that it was completely covered. Again, white embossing powder from the Basics Wow embossing powders. It's a set of 3 powders. There is white, black, and clear in it. And I'm using my heat tool. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring and want to speed up the process a little bit, you can use the level 1 setting. Level 2 setting is for heat embossing. It does get hotter, but it does take just a minute to heat up. So that's why I'm yakking and just holding the heat tool here, letting it heat up a little bit before I point it towards my sentiment. And before I blow the, I got the little backing for all my dimensionals laying next to me, and I just sent them flying all over the table, probably some on the floor too. So, all right, we're heat embossing. So I'm just going to keep the heat tool moving so that I don't accidentally burn the embossing powder. When it gets shiny and kind of that bright white, then you know it's done. If you heat it too long, you can actually burn it, and that is not very pretty. So, oh, hey, thanks for hopping in, Terry, Terry and Cindy both. So, and no worries on being late. You can always catch the replay. So, all right, so that is the sentiment. Just giving it a second here to cool off before I die cut it with the coordinating die. And I did discover there is like a right and a wrong way to put this die on here. That is the wrong way. It doesn't fit very nicely on it. If you try to put it on there the wrong way, it almost cuts off the bottom of the J, and there's way too much extra space over here. So if you put it the right way around, then it fits on here just perfectly. And I did discover that, yes, there's a right and a wrong way to put it on here as I was doing the initial die cutting. So don't panic if the first you look at it and you're like, this die doesn't fit. It does. Just flip it the other way around and you'll be good. Hey, Marva, thanks for joining. All right, let me go die cut this. Oh, I almost dropped my plate. All right. right, so there we go. Just going to pop this out and get this set aside. And so this is the pretty little die cut that it creates, and I love this banner look on it. Love the little extra ends and things on here. And we're just going to layer this right over the center of the card here near the bottom. So I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal in the center and then a couple Stampin' Dimensionals on the edges. Or you can, again, you can use glue dots in the center or liquid glue, whatever you prefer. I definitely like my Stampin' Seal, so that's what I used. Where are my dimensions? Oh, here we go. Okay, I know I had a partial sheet somewhere here. And then I'm taking my Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm putting those on the very outside edges again because, again, this is fairly thick here in the middle. There's a couple dimensionals underneath there, so I don't want to end up with weirdly lumpy dimensionals sticking in spots that I don't want them to be. So, all right, just going to take this and we're going to layer it right over the top of the bottom. Does that make sense? Right over the lower part of the card front. And then give it a little smush there in the middle. If you decide you want more Stampin' Dimensionals underneath here, once you get it stuck down, my little trick is to basically take a Stampin' Dimensional, peel off both the covers, stick it on your paper snips, slide it underneath, push down, and then pull your snips out, and you can add more Stampin' Dimensionals. It's a really quick and easy little trick, so if you get it all stuck down, you're like, oh, it's kind of saggy in the one spot, you can always add dimensionals to it. So, all right. Then we have got some of the traditional sparkling sequins, and these are obviously in the traditional colors. So there's real red cherry cobbler. There's both of those colors are in the paper. Does it say specifically? I'm not sure that it says exactly which. Oh no, they are real red, old olive, pool party, and gold. So again, on my card, I had used the pool party because those are my flowers. For this one, I'm actually going to use the gold because I figured that, it's kind of a nice, a little more neutral color. Again, definitely holiday related, but you can use gold any time of the year. And they didn't have pink ones, so that was why I went with the gold instead, because I figured red, again, to me screams Christmas, holiday, whatever. So going to grab the smallest one, tuck that down here. The medium-sized one is going here. And then the larger one I will put over here next to the small one. And that's going to be it for the card front. These are really pretty, and they are super, super flat, which I absolutely love. So they will make it easy for mailing things. The only thing to know about them is the backing. If you pick just the top of it, I did discover this when I was playing with them. If you pick up just the top of it, the backing does sometimes come off of them. So I fixed that by just basically smooshing it back down on top of the backing and then going underneath it, grabbing my take your pick tool and sliding it underneath. The other trick that you can do is just bend the little sheets back and slide your fingernail right underneath it, and that will also pop it right off without taking the backing off. So just be aware, these do come off the backing pretty easily, but they're also pretty easy to stick back on. So, all right, so that's it for the card. Yes. I know. See, enabling is what we do. That's what we do best. So I'm always happy. I will take that any day. So, all right. So I've got basic white for the inside of the card. So I've got 4 inches by 5 1/4. Again, all the details for this will be on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I will link directly to the blog post once it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning. Link to it in the description of the video, so you can come back over and check out all the details for the card once it all goes live. And again, there'll be a PDF, all that good stuff to go with it, so you'll be able to print that out if you want to, or take the details, copy it, all good. All right. So that was a little piece of the Traditions of Christmas specialty paper. Again, that matches the card front that I just put down at the bottom of the basic white panel. The little bit of Stampin' Seal. I'm going to flip this over and we'll just put this right inside the card. There we go. And then I'm going to grab the bone folder and fold it closed and give it a quick crease. And we're going to be all done with the card for today. So you can take your pick on which one you like better. Originally, I was kind of leaning towards the pool party, but I'm liking the pink and red. I don't know. I can't decide which one I like better. So I love them both. It's beautiful flowers either way. And again, if you wanted to turn this to a totally Christmas card, you could certainly with either one of them, but those red flowers that are also on this designer series paper, I will grab that. If you switched out and put the red flowers in there instead, you'd have a beautiful Christmas card. So lots of options with this stamp set bundle. Again, it's the traditional labels stamp set and dies. So that's the bundle. And then Christmas Greenery is the other bundle that I actually only use the dies from, but there are images in the stamp set that coordinate if you want to be able to color these in any color. You can stamp and color them in any color, but you know me, I'm kind of a lazy stamper. So if somebody stamped and colored it all for me, I'll be happy just to die cut it and stick it on my card front. So there you go. So again, all this will be available to order on September 3rd. So the September catalogs are actually out. If you are a customer of mine, I have mailed them out to your address that you had on file with me. So hopefully everybody's got theirs. If you don't have yours as a customer, just reach out to me and I will be happy to put one in the mail to you or track yours and figure out where yours is at. So, hey, Patricia, thanks for hopping on. And I'm glad that glad that I'm a little detrimental to your checking account. So, all right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Again, I'll plan to be live around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday, and then again around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. So we'll plan to see you all then. Have a great rest of your week.